So tomorrow, don't forget about your quiz. We will be getting going with it right away. We have a lab right after that, so you won't have time to study tomorrow, okay? So right as you get in there, we will take the quiz. Remember, it is matching from the Quizlet as well as the labeling portion. That's on Classroom, okay? Make sure you get the picture of the cell on Classroom in your notes. I think I posted it yesterday, so make sure you use some color on it and finish that up. And yeah, make sure to get in these couple notes that we have today. Just keep in mind with your phospholipid bilayer, this is the layer that surrounds all cells. Phospholipid, these things right here, each of these little structures is a phospholipid. It has a hydrophilic head. Philic means to love, right? So it loves water. Hydrophobic means, phobia means scared. So hydrophobic means it's scared of water. So here it's kind of interacting with the water on top as well as interacting on the water in the bottom because you are full of water. And then these hydrophobic tails are trying to protect themselves and shield themselves away from the water. Okay? There are many cell membranes, things in the cell membrane. There are many protein molecules are embedded within the bilayer. These are used for transportation and communication between cells. So for one, certain things like maybe sugars or different electrolytes can be transported from one side to the other, depending if the cell wants this substance or if it doesn't want its substance. Okay? Okay. It's also used for communication. These carbohydrate chains, a lot of the times these are what we call receptors. But these are kind of how cells communicate. So if you ever heard of hormones, hormones are ways that cells communicate and tell another cell to do a certain action or to do something, okay? So these proteins are often used for transport or for communication, and there's maybe a few other reasons too. But the cell membrane is not just a boring sea of phospholipids, okay? There's a lot of other stuff going on. And we're going to talk a lot more about transport in our next couple days. Cilia and flagella. These are two structures that allow for cells to move. All right, so cilia, if you look down here, kind of looks like carpet, a whole bunch of little string things. What they do is they do more of like a crawling motion. So usually your whole cell is full of them or just one side. This is going to be found in your throats, in your mucus to help move material down, such as mucus. Flagella, these are longer than cilia, and they usually occur singularly or in pairs, or sometimes you might even have like 5 to 10. But usually there's a whole bunch of cilia and many, or not very many flagella. Okay, provides more of a whip-like movement that propels cells. And then if you look at this bacteria, I think this is a sperm. Sperm are the only cells in the human body that would have a flagella. And this right here is a bacteria. It kind of has some cilia, the little hairs, as well as some longer ones. All right. Cell walls lie outside the cell membrane, so there's another layer outside of them, okay, these cell walls. And these are going to provide support and protection for the cell, okay? It's kind of like a big box. So if this cell was to, like, let's say, swell up, or it's just a sturdier case. If you snap like a carrot in half, it's pretty solid, and that's a lot of the times due to these cell walls, okay? This right here is, you can actually see the cell walls in between the individual cells, and these are present in plants, fungi, and many prokaryotes. We as animal cells, we have animal cells, and we do not actually have cell walls, okay? Let's see. Let's have a picture I want to show you guys of cell walls, how they actually look. Cell walls are not just like an individual box. They're almost like a bunch of beams that are kind of cross-sectioned. Right here. This is how an actual plant cell, or how a wall looks like. There's lots of these beams of this is a substance called cellulose, and then they kind of form this network. Okay, so anyway, just wanted to show you that. Don't forget, for your cell analogy activity, you're going to be making a cell analogy, so you'll compare it to something. So for example, we compared our thing to maybe like a Mountain Dew factory. You guys will be doing an analogy. I've had kids do schools, I've had kids do farms. If you want to be more creative, I've had like smartphones. So just compare all the organelles to a something, and then write why you compared the thing you did and explain the function of that organelle in real cells, and then make a picture of it. Okay. Try and just work on maybe the word portion today, come up with some ideas, and that's all.